Hi guys, so today we're reading a story called How Bat Got Its Wings. The story is a folktale, so it's a fake story that's been told over and over for a long time. It is not real, but it's a story that people have told. It's just a fun story. This story is about a bat who wants to play a game, but he isn't able to because he doesn't quite fit into the categories to the other teams. So there's something each team has that Bat does not have at the beginning of the story, but by the end he's able to join in because he gets that thing that he's missing. So while we're reading, I want you to think about the sequence of events that happens in a story. What happens first? What happens next? What happens then? And finally, what happens last? Alright, let's get started. A long time ago, the animals had a big game of ball. They broke up into teams. One side had birds, or animals with wings. The other side had animals with legs, but they did not have wings. The animals who did not have wings were big and fast. They could toss a ball a long way and run like the wind. The birds were fast, but not as big. Yet with their wings, they could carry the ball way up in the air. The animals with legs could not jump up and grab it. At last, game day came. The animals and birds met on the playing field. Both teams felt very excited. "We will win!" came the calls. Just then, an animal with 4 very little legs stepped up. It was a gray bat. He went to the animals. "Can I play on this team?" he asked. "You are much too small to play," laughed the animals. "And look at those little legs. We can't win with you." "I may be little," said Gray Bat, "but I can do lots of things." Next, Gray Bat went to the birds. "Can I play on this team?" he asked. The birds shook their heads. "Our team has wings," they explained. "But the animals say I'm not big and I can't play with them," said Gray Bat. Now we're learning what happened first about our main idea. Think about the first thing that happened to Bat in this story. Can you add a detail to that? The first thing that happened to Bat in this story is that he wanted to play the game, but he was too small to play with the animals without wings, and since he didn't have wings, he couldn't fly with the animals with wings. Let's read on to find out what happens next. Then, Blue Jay spoke up. "Maybe there's a way for Gray Bat to play with us." "Tell us about it," said Raven. "We can give him wings," said Blue Jay. "That is splendid!" Cardinal exclaimed. Now we know the second event in our story. What is the next thing that happens in the sequence? Next, Blue Jay had an idea. He thought they could make wings for Bat so he could fly. Let's keep reading to see what happens after Blue Jay had the idea to make Bat some wings. So the birds took the skin off the top of a big drum. Then they took sticks and made special wings for Bat. "Let's see if he can fly," said Blue Jay. Gray Bat flapped his wings. He went zig and zag. He could not go in a line like a real bird. "That's the best I can do," Gray Bat said and smiled. "Just sit and wait till we need you," said the birds. In the last section we read, Blue Jay had an idea to make some bat wings. What happened then in our sequence? Then, the birds made some bat wings using the top of a drum. Bat tested them out and found out he was able to fly, so he could play the game with the animals with wings. We have just a little more to our story, so let's read on to find out the last thing that happens. At last, the game began. The animals and birds played their best to win. The balls zipped up and down. Graybat just sat and waited. When the end of the game was close, each team had 8 points. Graybat still had not played. With a little time left, the animals took the ball and ran with it. Just then, Graybat stood up. "Let me help," he said. He flew up, up, up with his special wings. He grabbed the ball and carried it in his zigzag way. The animals could not catch him. "We win," yelled the birds. "Graybat did it." To this day, Graybat plays on the bird team. He flies in his own way. And that is how the bat got wings. All right, now that we've read our story, can you tell me what happened last? Graybat was able to play the game, and he flew so high that the animals on the ground couldn't reach him. His team won. Now that we've read the story together, let's think about the sequence we talked about. Since a sequence is a list of steps in the same order every time, the sequence we talk about now will have the same steps in the same order as the sequence we talked about as we were reading. So first, Bat wanted to play a game with his friends. Next, Blue Jay had an idea. Then, they made wings for Bat out of a drum. Last, Bat played the game. Now that we have our basic sequence, let's add some details to make our writing even better. Remember, we want to make our writing so detailed that we can picture it, we can visualize it in our mind. So for this first step, I'm going to add a detail because we know a little more about what happened when Bat asked to play. Bat wasn't able to play because he was too small to play with the team on the ground, and he didn't have wings to play with the team that was flying. So our whole first step is, first, Bat wanted to play the game with his friends. He wasn't able to play because he was too small to play with the team on the ground and didn't have wings to play with the team that was flying. We can add on to our next step as well, to make it a little more clear. We say that Blue Jay had an idea, but we didn't say what it was, so we're going to change that step to say, next, Blue Jay had the idea to make some wings for Bat. We know a little more about our then step as well. We know what happened when they made the wings, so I'm going to add that detail also. Right now we have, then, they made wings for Bat out of a drum. And we're going to add, once Bat had his wings, he tested them and found out he could fly. Alright, one more step to add a detail to. We have, last, Bat played the game. Yes, we know he got to play, but what happened when he played? He was able to fly so high that the other team couldn't catch him, and his team won. Reread this sequence that we just worked on together, and notice how much detail. Can you visualize it in your mind? Can you picture it in your head? Yesterday we read the story about how Beaver got his flat tail. A tree fell on it. Today we read the story about how Bat got his wings when his friends helped him by taking the top off of a drum. Now it's your turn. Think about an animal you know, and you're going to write a sequence using first, next, then, last to tell the story about how that animal got a specific body part. You may talk about how a cat got its whiskers, about how a giraffe got its long neck, or maybe how a zebra got its stripes. You can tell about any animal you want, any body part you want. But you need to make sure your sequence has enough detail that I can paint a picture in my mind. Have fun writing. If you want to send it, that would be awesome. If not, that's okay. Have some fun writing, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Hi friends! So today we're reading a story called How Bat Got Its Wings. The story is a folktale, which means it's fictional. It's a fake story that has been told many, many, many times over time, for a long, long time. My cat's saying hi. This is my kitty cat.